Everyone thinks Squid Game is about death games. I don't. I think it's about your credit card bill, your rent, your student loans, and that quiet fear in the back of your mind that if you slip, even once, everything could fall apart. On the surface, Squid Game looks extreme. People literally dying in children's games. It feels like pure dystopian fiction. But the reason it exploded the way it did is simple. It doesn't actually feel that far away. It feels like a funhouse mirror of the economic system we already live in. In this video, we're going to break down 7 hidden economic forces inside Squid Game, and then flip the lens back onto real life. By the end, you'll understand why the show felt disturbingly familiar, where you might quietly be playing similar games, and how to step out of the worst ones without needing to win them first. And if you stick around to the end, I'll share the mindset shift almost everyone misses, the one that lets you stop treating your life like a rigged tournament, because whether you like it or not, you're already playing. I'm not going to recap every character. You don't need it. Here's all that matters. A group of people drowning in debt are invited into a mysterious competition. Play some simple children's games. They're told one ultimate winner, life-changing money. What they aren't told is that losing a game means being eliminated permanently. Strip away the jumpsuits, the guards, and the giant robot doll, and you'll see ingredients we recognize. Debt, scarcity, rigged competitions, status obsession, and a tiny group of people at the top watching it all and profiting. So let's break those forces down, one by one. As we go, ask yourself, where am I playing a softer version of this? Every player in Squid Game is there for one reason. They're drowning. Gambling debt, failed businesses, medical bills, loan sharks. The organizers don't create their suffering. They simply harvest people already backed into a corner. That's the first hidden force. When people are desperate enough, you don't have to push them into bad deals. They'll walk into the room and close the door themselves. In the real world, this looks like predatory interest rates, payday loans, buy now, pay later, traps, late fees that punish the vulnerable. If your buffer is tiny, you are one emergency away from, yes, I'll sign this contract. I barely understand. Yes, I'll stay in this job that's burning me out. I'll take that ridiculous interest rate. The game doesn't start on the green tiled arena. It starts years earlier, when your safety net erodes. An emergency fund isn't responsible adulting. It's a shield. It protects you from becoming the perfect contestant in someone else's game. And quick note, if this hidden economics lens is clicking for you, consider subscribing now so you don't lose the channel in the algorithm. Now, once people are desperate enough to compete, you can upgrade the rules. Hundreds of players, one jackpot, everyone else gets nothing, or worse. Dramatic on screen, but economically, completely normal. A winner-takes-all tournament is any system where a huge number of people compete. The top tiny fraction captures almost all the rewards. Everyone else gets scraps. You see this in job markets with 300 applicants, academia, startups, social media. From the outside, it still looks like meritocracy. If you're good enough, you'll rise. But here's the uncomfortable truth. In a tournament, the math guarantees most people fail. In Squid Game, the violence makes that obvious. In life, the violence looks like burnout, chronic stress, dreams quietly abandoned, effort matters, but less than you've been taught. The design of the game matters more than the grind of the players. So ask yourself, do I actually want my life to be a tournament? Or do I want a market where more than one person can win? One of the most unsettling moments is when players vote to leave. They leave, they go home, they are free. But then real life hits them again. The debt, the pressure, the humiliation, and many of them choose to return. On paper, that's consent. In reality, economists call this constrained choice. You're free, but only within a narrow corridor. You can quit your job anytime, sure, and lose your income, healthcare, maybe your visa. You don't have to use these financial products, sure, but society assumes you will. Systems love to make constrained decisions look like personal responsibility. You signed, you borrowed, you agreed. If you find yourself saying, I didn't really have a choice, that's the sign you're inside a game where all roads lead to the same outcome, and it benefits someone else. Inside the arena, players don't just compete to survive. they compete for status. Who's strong? Who's weak? Who's expendable? Status becomes a survival tool. In real life, status becomes a financial trap. It's why people take on debt for houses, cars, lifestyles that only work if nothing goes wrong. It's why someone with a perfectly good life still feels like a failure scrolling Instagram or LinkedIn. Status anxiety is a hidden tax. It pushes you to chase money over meaning, stay in impressive looking careers you secretly hate, spend to signal instead of spending for peace. Squid Game, status is life or death. In your life, it becomes debt, stress, and the feeling that nothing is ever enough. So ask, am I building stability and freedom, or just funding a status game I didn't choose? Now we get to one of the darkest forces in the entire system, turning human suffering into a product. In Squid Game, the players don't just fight to survive, they perform. Every moment of panic, every betrayal, every moral collapse, it's all consumed as entertainment by people who will never experience those stakes. But here's the part that stings. We already live inside softer versions of this. Reality TV perfected the formula years ago. Producers deliberately place people under extreme stress, sleep deprivation, isolation, manufactured drama, financial pressure, public humiliation, all because stress creates storylines. And storylines create ratings. And the audience, us, consumes it. Not because we're evil, but because the system quietly taught us that other people's struggle is content. But social media added a new layer, a dangerous one. Now, people broadcast their own suffering because pain goes viral, outrage gets clicks, vulnerability gets engagement, meltdowns perform well. Platforms financially reward emotional extremes. Economically, it's simple. If attention equals money, then anything that generates attention becomes profitable, even human breakdowns. Influencers burn out performing their private lives for public consumption. Workers post their layoffs online because heartbreak gets reach. People's worst days become someone else's scroll time filler. And just like in Squid Game, once suffering becomes entertainment, the system begins to optimize for it. Here's the hidden force most people miss. Platforms don't want healthy behavior, they want repeatable behavior. And nothing repeats like fear, outrage, comparison, conflict, spectacle. So what starts as entertainment quietly rewires what we think normal is. We become numb to distress. We get used to seeing people as characters. We treat our own pain like something to package, present, and perform. And eventually, we forget where the show ends and real life begins. That's why Force 5 matters. When human suffering becomes entertainment, the threshold of what a system can demand or what we'll tolerate shifts dramatically. Not because someone forced it on us, but because we slowly got used to watching the game. Let's talk about the VIPs. They're not running, they're not bleeding, they're not making life or death decisions in real time. They are insulated. Physically, socially, economically, masks, luxury, distance, all designed to create one thing: emotional detachment. This is the essence of moral hazard, where a decision maker can take risks without facing the consequences of those risks. The more distance you create, the easier it becomes to justify cruelty. And again, here's the disturbing part. This already exists everywhere. Executives designing layoffs that will devastate thousands, while their own bonuses are contractually protected. Tech leaders pushing addictive features they'd never let their own kids use. Policymakers designing welfare systems they will never personally depend on. Systems that punish error instead of supporting recovery. Financial institutions creating opaque products they know ordinary people can evaluate. Because if things go bad, they get bailed out. The public absorbs the shock. The pain trickles downward, not upward. Distance creates moral blindness, but it also creates something worse: efficiency without empathy. When you view people through dashboards, KPIs, performance graphs, shareholder slides, it's easy to stop seeing them as people. You see numbers, and numbers don't cry, numbers don't panic, numbers don't have families or rent or medical bills. In Squid Game, this distance is literal. A glass wall, a balcony, a mask. In real life, The masks look like corporate jargon, management layers, outsourced responsibility. Policy says, legally, we have to. It's just business. But the effect is the same. When you don't feel the consequences, you optimize for yourself. When you do feel them, you optimize for humanity. That's the hidden invitation inside this force. If you ever hold power, as a manager, founder, policymaker, even as a parent, ask one question. How close am I to the impact of my decisions? That distance determines whether you run a community or a quiet version of the VIP lounge. So, what does all this mean for us? Because here's the truth. Nobody wants to admit out loud. Most of us are already playing games we never consciously signed up for. Not life or death games, not televised games, but systems with high stakes, limited winners, hidden rules, manufactured pressure, and rewards that never quite feel like enough. Let's break it down. 1. We trade time and health for distant, uncertain payoffs. Promotions, prestige, followers, future stability. Just like the contestants, we gamble our present for an imagined future, and sometimes that future never comes. 2. We accept tournament-style careers as normal, where thousands compete, while only a handful get security, recognition, or meaningful rewards. The rest quietly drop out and blame themselves, never realizing the game was mathematically unwinnable. 3. We tell ourselves we have no choice. But the lack of choice isn't personal failure. It's economic design, thin buffers, high living costs, debt dependency. The game funnels us into predictable behaviors. 4. We chase status as a proxy for safety. A bigger title, a nicer home, a more impressive life online. Not because we're shallow, but because status feels like protection. If others see you as successful, maybe the system won't crush you. 5. We consume struggle as content and perform our own. We've normalized documenting pain and watching other people unravel. It's not moral failure, it's incentives. And finally, 6. We distance ourselves from consequences when we can. We optimize, we protect ourselves, we slip into VIP mode in tiny, invisible ways. That's why Squid Game hits so hard. It looks extreme, but it feels familiar. It shines a spotlight on the quiet, everyday games we play. Games of survival, games of comparison, games of scarcity, games of maybe this next win will finally make me feel safe. But here's the twist. The point of understanding the game is not to escape the world. It's to stop playing on autopilot. Because once you see the design, once you understand the incentives, once you notice the pressure points, you can start asking new questions. Is this my game? Who benefits if I play? What happens if I stop? What's the smallest change that gives me power back? You don't have to dismantle the system. You don't have to overthrow anything. You just have to make one choice. Stop treating your life like a tournament someone else built. Start choosing games where you can thrive, not survive. That's the heart of this entire video. Not fear, not cynicism, not doom, awareness, agency, design, choice. Because the truth is, once you understand the game, you can start playing a different one. Relax, it's exaggerated. Life isn't actually like that. True, you're not shot for failing a task, but that's the wrong comparison. Squid Game isn't predicting the future. It's magnifying the present. Debt traps, winner-takes-all tournaments, constrained choices dressed as freedom, suffering turned into content. Calling it just fiction is comfortable. But it lets us ignore the real dynamics. When we see systems like this, we ask, how do I win? How do I maximize my odds? But that's the trap. If everyone is focused on winning, nobody asks, do I even want to play this game? The hidden insight. The real power isn't in playing better. It's in choosing different games. Games where multiple people can win. The downside is limited. Your self-worth isn't on a leaderboard. In money terms, that means building a financial buffer, choosing markets, not tournaments, diversifying your identity, opting out of status purchases. You can't rewrite the whole system, but you can choose where you plug into it. And if this way of seeing money and power resonates, hit subscribe. It genuinely helps this tiny channel grow. 3 questions to audit your life. 1. Where am I one emergency away from desperation? That's your cue to build even a tiny buffer. It gives you power. 2. Where am I stuck in a tournament I don't even want to win? Look sideways, there are always other fields. 3. Where am I chasing status instead of peace? Redefine wealth. Your version, not society's. You can't stop every game from existing, but you can stop handing your life over to the worst designed ones. If you're still here, you're exactly who this channel is for. You don't want hacks, you want understanding. The hidden economics shaping your job, your money, your attention, your relationships. This channel is small, early, but we're building something real. So if this episode made something click, subscribe so you grow with the channel, so YouTube knows this matters. And comment, what's one game you've stopped playing? Or one you're thinking about leaving? You'll probably say exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you want to keep going, tap the next video. We're unpacking another hidden system shaping how you think, spend, and feel. Once you see the game, you don't have to play on autopilot. You get to choose, stay smart, stay curious, play your own game. Let's decode the system. This is Hidden Economics. I'll see you in the next one.